Film is now in session. That's how I want to start this thing again, because we're not reshooting this because of technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Of course not. Dante Pizzini, local DFW comic. Today I'm sitting down with the lovely, the talented husband, father, comic, Zack Marchand.
Yeah, that's an interesting order. I'm wondering what it's going to be like on my gravestone.
Maybe
right?
not exactly that.
Yeah, I'll look at my wife and I'm like, I was a better comedian than father, so can we put that first? You know what I mean? Just like, well, changes on day per day with what my priorities are, so.
We'll just have like the spark notes, right?
Yeah. Which who wants a gravestone? These things are expensive anyways. Ooh, maybe what I do is I get 3 different urns. One part of me is the comedian side, one part's the father side, and the other one's the husband side.
Just
and then
do not keep them in the spice cabinet. You will get mistaken.
yeah, well, maybe I kind of want to be inside some people. You know what I mean? Like I want to always and forever kind of be linked to people that way. Ooh, I got to own a restaurant just so I can do that. Anyways, yeah, Zack Marchand.
So today we're sitting down looking at the film, just trying to break down some clips, see what we can learn from them, get a little bit better. What are you bringing today? I
have a clip of a bit that I've been working on. Premises, true story. Sister was not convicted. That's damn. That's a bit that I've been working on. I brought it, and you do very good job at kind of like these longer told like story jokes, and so that's why I was like, when you told me the premise of the show, I was excited to bring it, to be able to talk about it, break it down a little bit.
Hell yeah.
And then the other clip I brought of Shane Gillis, and it's not really him doing, it's stand up on the spot, but it's stand up, and it's him taking the premise of people that you shouldn't like and like defending them, which I just kind of love the idea of that, because it's a fun exercise. It's a fun exercise of like, who's the most hated person in the world, and like maybe like trying to justify.
Let's just go against the grain on how people feel about them and see if we can make that funny. Yeah, right.
Like maybe John Wilkes Booth was a hero the whole time, right? Or maybe JFK needed to die, right? So and the idea of making that funnier.
According to the FBI, he did anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So that's like, what if the guy? No, I'm not going to even say that premise. As a comic, just sometimes some weird shit just pops in there. Like that should not leave my mouth.
Like that's funny, but that's for me.
Yeah,
that is for no one else.
Yeah, I was about to throw out there an example of a very prominent civil rights person, and been like, maybe the other dude was right. And I'm like, I'm not saying that out loud.
We will talk about it after.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. Clip I'm bringing today, I do have some story stuff, but there's actually an older one of me doing some impressions.
Yeah.
I haven't done impressions in a while. They can feel a little tacky, but they're also just like so silly, and that's what I like about them.
They've done right. They're relatable, right? The joke is a lot of the heavy lifting's lifted because a lot of people know the impression. They know the person that you're impersonating.
Not necessarily relatable, but like you don't need to front load so much information.
No, like if someone yells "get to the chopper," you're not having to explain like, hold on, let me explain this to you. This guy,
there's this big Austrian dude, right?
Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like there's no
started with bodybuilding, transitioned to acting, married a Kennedy.
Yeah.
Had a bastard child that is... I'm really glad he had that kid, I'm not going to lie. Have you seen his other kids? They take after mom.
Yeah, no, the only kid I saw was the one who's dating Chris Pratt. That's the only one I've seen.
Okay.
Speaking of...
Wait, what?
Yeah.
He has a daughter dating Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
Nice.
He ditched that scary movie girl. No, went and got some Schwarzenegger. No,
got some what?
Shorts and her Jaeger.
I can cut that up.
But the one kid. Speaking of kids who didn't get whose genes, have you ever seen? So I'm obsessed right now with the show Winning Time. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson's one kid that got like could be like carbon copy physique and everything. Is a transsexual woman. Or
shit.
I don't know if she just cross dresses or like if she's had surgery, but anyways, it's basically a light skinned Magic Johnson, a behemoth of like a body.
So like 6'6".
Yeah, 6'6", jacked out of the face,
250 pounds,
but wearing a dress and heels, and doesn't play sports at all. And I'm sitting there just like, you, like, good for you, But you do
I love that.
Why can't you do that and be an athlete too?
I love that. Live your truth.
Yeah.
But you can still dunk.
Yeah, just do it in heels, bitch.
Fucking get on the. I can't name one WNBA team. That's depressing. Who does Griner play for? Florida.
Actually, the Phoenix, but I don't even know what their logo is, but it's Phoenix because I'm just in Phoenix.
Get the Magic daughter on Phoenix.
Yeah. Or the Dallas Wings. I do know that one. The Dallas Wings, which always makes me hungry every time I hear it.
Actually, no, don't do WNBA. We should get her in roller derby. Be a unit on the fucking rink.
I think fighting. I think what if Magic Johnson fought? Like if you Google it, it totally makes sense. But impressions though,
back to
impressions are fun and they're great when they hit right But yeah.
So that being said, you want to start your clip, my clip?
Let's go ahead and start with your clip.
Get the recording going here.
I'll do some impressions for you guys. So this is Richard Nixon. Had he not been a president, had he walked a different path in life? Richard Nixon, different path in life. Put the money in the bag, because I'm a crook. This is Al Pacino if he owned a pizzeria. Al Pacino if he owned a pizzeria. Hey, you like pizza? I don't know. I do. I'm Al Pacino, so come on down and say hello to my little pie. Al Pacino's Pizzeria. Gotta keep practicing that one. Last one. This one's for the Star Wars dorks out there. If you remember old Star Wars, Yoda was like 900. He was an old man. Check out the new Star Wars Mandalorian. He's like 50 and he's still a little baby. I want to see Yoda around like 200-300 years old, aka his dirtbag 20s. I think it'd be something kind of like this, you know? Shake that ass for this paper, you will. All right, I'll do some.
Yeah, the Yoda one's definitely the best one. Like
I like Yoda. I like Nixon because I really want to do like a fucking Robo Nixon from Futurama joke.
Yeah,
like we live in a republic. You know what I'm saying? I just love Robo Nixon. But Yoda's fun. Nixon's fun. Pacino. I could definitely do something better there.
Also, you could update him a little bit. Like if you could do a Barack, and then like reference like
Barack Obama.
Yeah. Is there a lot of Baracks, you know?
No, ma. I'd have to sit down and practice old Barry O.
Yeah, which hilarious that he went by a different name his whole life. So as Barry, he fantasized about sleeping with men, and so like that's where the bit.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
you told me like an hour ago.
Yeah,
we were originally recording.
Yeah, so he fantasized about sleeping with men. He hasn't denied it, and it's a letter he wrote.
That kind of makes sense now with the Barry.
Yeah, maybe that's
the day Barry became Barack.
Yeah, he's like,
those thoughts went away.
I can't think about dicks anymore, and so he's like,
Barack now.
Yeah, it's Barack now. But Barry comes out once in a while. Yeah, if you could do Barack, but there's some, but just that's the other thing too is finding somebody with like a distinctive characteristic voice, just like to
Clinton,
like say
Bush. Presidents seem to always have more unique voices. It seems like, or is that just because we fucking hear them so much?
It's because we hear them.
Yeah.
They're also. I think it's the way politicians have to speak.
They are trained in like certain speech
because they have to enunciate. They do this and that. So I think it becomes very impressionable, right? The Rock doesn't have a distinctive voice, but like think about it. Characters, movie characters are a great one. I think that's the great thing about the Yoda one is because when we think of other things like presidents and stuff, it's reliant upon whatever's going on with them. Movies those are sticks. Those are characters anyway. So
there's a lot more room to play around.
Yeah, like you could have a C-3PO one. Like he's fluent in so many languages, even cunnilingus. Like you know what I mean? Like
does not know Java though.
Yeah, Jabba the Hutt's another one, right? And then you say Han Solo. Yeah, or you say this is my impression of Lizzo, and then you do the Jabba voice. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the throwing a turn on that third impression.
Yeah.
Don't just do 3 impression joke. Do like impression joke, And then like the impression is a complete turn. Like either Lizzo Jabba or you mentioned it earlier, do like a physical impression versus
Yeah. You know, it's a big deal where you're just like, this is my impression of Monica, and you just go, oh. But I like, actually, when you did it earlier, you had a pause, like you were like trying to get your vocals ready.
Set it up like it's gonna be a voiceover.
Yeah,
like, all right, Monica Lewinsky.
That was good.
And her time in office, right?
Yeah.
Just don't actually put the microphone in my mouth because that's gross.
Yeah. Or you could have done, you know, was it Ray Rice, and you just like hit the stool over. You're not familiar with that?
Is that
one?
a sports guy?
Yeah, he beat his wife.
Sports.
Yeah, sports.
Yeah. Adrian Peterson, he beat his son. I know that.
Yeah. Oh, and the stick is the mic, and you could figure that out. Something topical at that time, and you're like, this one's the interchangeable one. Here's the other two, like
what's going on with Musk this week, or what's going on with whatever in the news, right? Okay, yeah. I like that. Adds to the factor a little bit of like, impressions are fun because a lot of the audience has that information in their mind already, and you do something topical. It's that little hook of like, oh, hey, that happened today. I read that. What's he going to say about it? That's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like impression of all the people in the submarine, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
This is my impression of the people on that submarine just before that tragic accident, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just screaming, done.
No, or you just talk normal and the sentence ends at like halfway.
Yeah.
Of just like,
well, I feel like a lot of people don't realize it happened. That's so fucking fast.
That's the point, because they just could have been like,
and if you look over to your left.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. What are we seeing again? The tide.
Oh, I think that's a great bear.
No, there was not room on that door. Like, which that's a huge debate for people, by the way, in the Titanic. They're like, was there enough room on that door for Jack to be on it?
There's plenty of fucking room.
Yeah.
But was the door buoyant enough? That's where I have stipulation.
Why did she need to live? Like, I want some Romeo and Juliet shit. I'm an old-fashioned guy. They should have died. Died
together?
They should have froze. You know what? They should have froze together, fallen to the bottom of the ocean, because they're now hugging because of the weight. And then, like Captain America, we can just keep them in a museum somewhere, just frozen Jack and Rose. Just
we probably would have gotten that fucking diamond back instead of her just dropping it in the end like a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gone.
Selfish. Rose is the villain in that story.
Everyone forgives her because she showed her tits, and everyone's like, oh, she's good now. And I'm like, I don't believe this. I don't buy this at all.
It's classic honeypot.
Yeah, but but impressions are fun. They're good. I think it's a solid thing to lean on, and people want to do them.
It's something I got to return to, but it is something that like you got to practice. That's something that's nice about being kind of further away from mics now. I got an hour drive. It's plenty of time to fucking sound like an idiot in my car and work it out.
Yeah.
You know,
it is a different art form too. It's a different art form within itself, within comedy. So
I think it's Jack Black. I always loved Tenacious D. All the movies he did that I watched growing up, like School Rock, Kung Fu Panda, all that shit. He's just his vocal range is so expressive in how he does things. I love that. But shit, just to nitpick a little bit more, camera angle is fine. Quality could be a little bit better.
Yeah, it just kind of depends. Like, you could get it super close up on yourself, but then you won't see the crowd. I like having a little bit of crowd in the shot.
Makes you look less crazy.
Yeah, especially with social. So, not to get. I hate talking work, but for me it is, because that's what I do. That's what I do for work. Is I'm in marketing. And I've worked with a lot of influencers. So, like, when influencers are like, hey, is this good? Like, is this a good shot? And I'm going to be like, no, people aren't going to stop in their feed unless you're so much in frame, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, people that do it perfectly is Trevor Wallace did it really well. He still does it really well. Matt Rife used to do it really well. Now he has, like, 6 cameras at every show. But before, when it was one camera
Trevor Wallace is, I'm chilling at Wetzel's Pretzels.
Yeah.
Fuck it. That dude is funny. He
And
does stand up now, right?
Yeah. He's doing really, really well.
I gotta watch his shit.
His openers from Plano, Christosius.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, his first appearance was on the Kill Tony when it was at the Hyenas in Plano. And then from there, he just kind of started grinding, and now he's down in Austin, and he's opening for Trevor Wallace.
Hell yeah.
But they do really, really good jobs, and it's basically just like your body takes up as much as the frame as possible. So
but you still have a couple heads of the crowd, or quick little cut to the crowd, cut back to you, right?
Yeah. And for most people, you can't do that, but it's just like, just more focused on you, because when people are scrolling through their feeds, it's just, you gotta
get that quick hook.
You gotta grab their attention. 9 times out of 10, the way that you grab the hook is by no sound. Don't rely on sound. You have to rely on someone just scrolling really, really fast. And if someone stops it, and that's why on my clips, I'll put the premise up first. So when people are scrolling and people will see like
that text pop up and read it real quick.
Yeah, Lizzo did nothing wrong. Then they see you're doing stand up. This is a joke about the thing that I'm reading. Your captions don't matter because people scroll so fast. People only read captions if they're interested enough. And even people that are interested enough. So the statistic is, I know for YouTube, I don't know what it is for the other ones. I've tried and asked them, but even if the most people that watch 60% of a YouTube video, only 20% actually click the description of show more.
That's more than I thought it would be, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and less than 20. It's like 20%, but those are people that watch over 50% of the video. It's even less. It's even less. The regular people, it's like less than 1%. Total views, less than 1%. So,
but now to the viewers' credit, I used to definitely look at descriptions a lot more when they were the spark notes about the video, not just 1,000 different links to check out my Patreon, check out my merch, check out my... So it's gotten a little more commercial in the description of these channels or these videos, right? But
no, it's where would you shoot this at, by the way?
I believe this was Backdoor Richardson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some clubs have some terrible lighting.
Yeah.
It's
so bright at Dallas Comedy Club. I feel like I always get washed out when I record there.
The worst one is Plano House of Comedy.
Yeah.
One of the best clubs to perform at, but it's something with all the blues and all their lighting.
Yeah. And the TVs in the background can look a little weird on camera.
Yeah. And those lights are so bright up there on the stage that I look overexposed. Like I can't, for me to get the right lighting I have to lower the exposure so much where the rest of the room looks like I'm performing in a black infinite void, and you can't even see silhouettes of people.
Yeah.
So I'm putting clips together of that show because I'm doing a show there, and I'm just like, why do I look like I have blue tint? I'm throwing this shit into DaVinci. Like I have full color correcting software, and it just doesn't look good. So
it's fucking lights at Plano, man.
It's rough. So the lighting, everything's good here. It's
what I was gonna say,
the physical bits, also mannerisms. You did a performance on top of just doing an impression, which was good.
I was gonna say too, like you said, that factor of like being eye catching on just a scroll by. I think something that we both kind of have is not a unique appearance, but different. The blonde hair, the mustache, the chops.
Yeah.
Like that's just one little thing to get someone to be like, what is this guy talking about?
100%. Like I'm never going to be like, you gotta either be like, you have to have some kind of physical thing.
As much of a
memorable
shtick as it is, if you can't be funny, at least be memorable.
Yeah.
Right?
My hair's a stick. I fucking know that. And it's not going fucking anywhere.
Not yet.
No. And I'm losing fat jokes because I'm losing weight.
What, are you going to the gym?
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
I know. Well, it was so much funnier. I used to have this bit of like, this guy asked me if I played basketball because I wear LeBrons. I'm like, do I look like I play basketball? You look like... And I used
like
to,
that bit.
I used to be able to turn, and I had a noticeable belly, like a lot bigger belly. And so I used to be able to like rub my stomach and be like, I could bid now, but it's not the same.
It's not gonna hit.
And I'm not wearing like a fake pregnant belly. Like how fake would that be? It's like get off stage and just like rip this like maternity.
It's just a shredded six pack.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, all those fat jokes I told you. That was a lot. That was a performance. It's an act. Like rip off my hair. Everyone's like, what the fuck? I'm like, that was just for you, babies.
You're just like a fucking yoked Joe Rogan clone.
Yeah. I could, you could do that. You could be like, I could be like the Dr. Disrespect of comedy where it's just like,
it's all props.
yeah, it's just none of it's real. None of it's real. It's all an act. Streaming? Yeah, dude, he's still fucking killing it.
God damn. He got picked up by a few big names for a while.
Yeah. He's still just grinding and killing it.
But shit, man, that being said, you want to slide on over to yours?
Yeah.
Get that up here.
So this was my first time I featured. This was for a show produced by Noah at Dallas Comedy Club.
Does anyone have a sibling that can get away with anything?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah? Are you guys siblings right here? What's happening right here? You are? So who gets away with the most shit?
All right. Pulling this up now. You said this was at Sharks Club?
Yeah, it was produced by
Shark Show.
Noah Shark Robinson.
Yeah.
This was at Dallas Comedy Club. This was my first time featuring.
Hell yeah.
Does anyone have a sibling that can get away with anything?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah? Are you guys siblings right here? What's happening right here? You are? So who gets away with the most shit? Come on. Someone stole a car. Someone took mom and dad's credit card. Someone, you? Yeah, you. I hate you, dude. I knew it, dude. Your glass, you got, dude, those glasses and everything. Like, see, he has like normal IT glasses, and you have like, I'm cool and wear Nikes at the same time. Oh shit, you are. That's great. Oh, Kyrie's. Do you also believe the Earth is flat or no? That boy can ball, can't he though? He can ball. We got him, dude. He signed in. We'll maybe make playoffs this year. But I have a sister who's like that. My sister, she topped anything that your siblings could have ever done. My sister was suspected of being an ISIS recruiter on national television. True story, Google it, Utah, teacher, ISIS. My sister pops right up. Okay? She was teaching a class that was taught by many people before on propaganda. Like teaching kids like, hey, this is how propaganda can get you. Back in 2015, you know, during ISIS's like real golden years, right? Those people still call it the classics for the four of them that's alive. And they're like they're supposed to like make up stuff like furries who pee standing up or like cheerleaders without dads, right? Like just some fake idea or some club. Guys who play Call of Duty totally straight. You know what I mean? Like they really emphasize the word straight in all caps. So then a mom freaks out. She walks in, the kids didn't listen. The kids wrote stuff on posters like ISIS is lit AF. Or like join ISIS, we have candy. Like they didn't hear the lesson. They just went home and wrote ISIS shit. So went on local news, then national news. We're getting death threats. My sister's career's ruined. I got questioned at work. My dad was on an extended leave of absence. We're in a hotel room. I look around at all five of us sitting in the room, and I go, what are we gonna do about this? And my parents are like, just give it 72 hours. It's not a big deal. My sister got away with being a suspected ISIS recruiter. Do you get that? My parents said, give it time. It will go away. They didn't even question her at all. I was like, what about all the mats in the back of her room? She goes, those are nap mats. And I go, I don't think so. I'm not sure they are. Not questioned at all.
This has so much meat. This is fun. This is such a fun story.
Yeah, there's a couple parts. There's one part where I said, and I noticed I did it, and I do this a lot, and I need to stop fucking doing it. It's when I said Call of Duty players that are totally straight. And then I riffed right then, and I said, they really emphasize the word straight, and so I'm riffing, so it's a new part of the bit, but you tell it fucked me up, because I was like, fuck, all right, next is this part of it, right?
I'm a huge fan of that, Don't do that at shows people paid money for.
Yeah.
Unless you're like very confident in it, you know?
Yeah. No, 100%. So I wanted to point that out as kind of like this, as we look at Steve Madden kind of breakdown of this, it's like that's, if I had a fumble, that's where I fumble. Having the crowd work at the beginning to juiced me up where I'm like, this is gonna fucking roll.
Yeah,
I just got a little too close to the sun. A little too close to the sun right there, but
well, I think that's smart how you start it with a little crowd work, it can be light, it can be heavy. With this one, you got a good response, so you kind of played with them a little bit more. But I love that just throwing out, who's got siblings in here, not necessarily who's got siblings in here that get away with shit.
Yeah.
Because then you can just target people right away with siblings, and then you can be like, all right, did you get away with more shit, or did your sibling? Like,
yeah.
Already confirm for them that one of them gets away with stuff versus letting them think about it.
Well, also, and I changed it too, because I used to say exactly what you said. I said, does anyone have a sibling that can get away with anything? Mm-hmm. Well, depending upon where people's attentions are at that point, they might not hear it. Mm-hmm. So I did, does anyone here have siblings? It's a lot simpler. It's a lot simpler
easier to hear. A little easier to say, yeah.
And then you go into, okay, could they just get away with anything? Well, who's the one who got away with the most shit? You, them. Mm-hmm. Then that makes it a little bit easier.
It's a fun way to kind of like, not necessarily bully, but guide the audience to where you want the conversation to go.
Well, because then they start thinking about their siblings, and they start playing those scenarios in their head. Right. So it's like when comics ask the question, like, has anyone been in a tornado, or like whatever it is, then people think of their experiences that they had at that time, or when people ask about, does anyone remember the 80s? As soon as someone says the word 80s, a whole
Farrah Fawcett hair,
imagery,
mom jeans,
endless imagery
rinks
just starts rolling in, and then instantly with a word, then the joke's already being, their brain's doing the work of helping build your joke and give it context. Exactly. So it's very easy. Like anytime someone, and that's why period jokes are so funny. By period jokes, I mean not like menstruation. I think like time periods. Civil War. Someone says Civil War, boom, right then.
The Egyptians.
It starts building up in your head.
Adam and Eve.
Do you remember high school? Yeah. That's a dicey one because high school is different for a lot of people, right? So, but like that's the kind of the thought behind that. But the problem that I'm having with this bit is because I did so much crowd work at the beginning, I totally fucked up my book endings. My book endings were supposed to be, my sister could get away with anything. Mm-hmm. She should shit on the floor, and my parents would just be like, oh, looks like she's getting enough protein. And then it ends with us in the hotel and her saying like, I'm like, no one cares that this happened? She's like, well, what's your problem? And then she shits on the floor and then leaves. And I'm not sold on that book ending. Mm-hmm. But I want to find a good book ending. I'm a huge fan of Frank Miller. And Frank Miller always did that. The dialogue that he said at the beginning of the comic, he always wrapped back in, weaved in, and then recapped it at the end. Even sometimes the same dialogue, or it was a dichotomy of the two. But
that's something that can work so beautifully. It's almost like a magic trick. Like, look over here while I'm preparing this thing, because with these kind of longer bits, 2 to 3 minutes, if you're telling it in a fun, captivating, if it's a good performance, the audience is just along for the ride. They're not thinking about what you said.
But I'm excited to talk about the other clip too. But Dave Chappelle's joke, I think it's from Sticks and Stones, where he says, I write premises in a bowl, pull them out, and I have to write the punchline. This has to be the punchline. And he tells everyone the punchline.
It's like pussy juicy.
It was I kicked her in the pussy. Yeah. Or punted her, and I punted the cunt, or I don't know. It was something like that. Yeah. And you forgot. I forgot. He told us this was the punchline, and you're right. The performance of it, you forgot about it.
You get captivated by it,
and then he fucking brings it right back in the end, and exactly. So that's the same idea about it. I'm not skilled enough to do that. I've tried that. I've literally done the whole punch bowl thing, and writing in reverse that way, I'm not at that point, but it is a fun exercise to try, I will say.
That's definitely something I would have more confidence in if I had like 10 minutes to play. 5 minutes, I don't know. It's tough to squeeze in a good wraparound story, I feel like, sometimes with a short amount of time like that.
Yeah, because then it's not a wraparound, then it's a callback, or it's just a continuation of a joke. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. This particular one, I did this one, I had 7 minutes. So my whole set was 7.
That's a good amount of time.
So this is about a 2-minute bit. If you see the time code on here, it's 2:40, but a lot of that was the first 50 seconds. This is crowd work.
Mm-hmm.
So I have this time down to a 2-minute bit. And it might, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is decent for 2 minutes, or do you think this needs to be a 4-minute joke? Does it need to be a 4-minute joke and only told at like the shows I have the time? Because for me, sometimes I get too self-conscious, and I feel like I've cut this down. There's no way to do this joke shorter. Like, it is just, there's too much shit that happens.
I think before we go longer, let's make it just a hot 2 minutes, right?
So optimizing the 2 minutes more. Yeah.
And I really like this joke because it feels like a Zack Marchand joke. Oh, dude, the fucking blonde guy, that ISIS sister joke. Like, it's a very particular premise. So it's definitely one, I think, optimize, then extend if you want. If there's more to the story, but I feel like you really hit all the meat and potatoes that we need for it to make sense, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
Because there's a lot of mechanical parts to it. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a lot of information you do need to cover. Like, what the fuck? How does this make sense at all? Well, she's a teacher. They had a class on propaganda. The students didn't fucking listen. Then they got in trouble. Like, there is a lot you do need to explain there. Let's go ahead and start it here from the beginning. I love this crowd work right at the start.
Does anyone have a sibling that can get away with anything?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah? Are you guys siblings right here? What's happening right here? You are? So who gets away with the most shit? Come on. Someone stole a car. Someone took mom and dad's credit card. Someone... You? Yeah, you.
Super fun examples. I love that you're picking on a specific table. And did you hear that chick in the back? Do we tell him?
No, I didn't actually.
Listen for that. Right after you say, what's the worst shit you've ever done? Who done it? Who's done it?
Come on. Someone stole a car. Someone took mom and dad's credit card. Someone... You? Yeah, you. I hate you.
Do we tell him?
So that was
that's something you could have capitalized.
So that was siblings in the back having a discussion of like, should we tell them about the time you did this? Like, I think that's what was happening. Fuck.
Yeah.
But I did it, like, and normally at these shows, it's mostly couples. So you can even see in this frame, there's this couple there, there's more of other couples. So sometimes I don't get the likelihood of siblings. And they could have not been siblings, but they were all around the same age. It could have all just been friends, but luckily...
They were having fun with you.
Yeah, but luckily I had just siblings that sat up front. So this was, the comedy gods put one on a platter for me.
Yeah,
so it was...
Here's a layup.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was...
Dude, I already knew it, dude. Your glass, you got, dude, the glasses and everything. Like, see, he has like normal IT glasses, and you have like, I'm cool and wear Nikes at the same time. Oh shit, you are. That's great. Kyrie's. Do you also believe the Earth is flat or no? That boy can ball, can he though? He can ball. We got him, dude. He signed in. We'll maybe make playoffs this year. But I have a sister who's like that.
Shit. So even myself, I got too wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Where's my bit?
I kind of like that. I mean, you definitely could have played it off a little bit better, but you did a good job of riffing on the spot. People in the audience especially love that. Like, oh, he just thought of that. And you did return to your bit. Like, you did jump off and get back on track in a pretty smooth fashion. Like, you weren't getting back into it off a huge laugh, but
yeah, like,
it's not super choppy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
we got him, dude. He signed in. We'll maybe make playoffs this year. But I have a sister who's like that.
Yeah.
My sister.
Quick little catch your breath, right back into the actual bit. It was nicely done.
Yeah, thank you, man. And there was just so for context, girl, 2 brothers. One brother looked like IT guy, like literally polo, very thin glasses, wiry glasses. He's wearing like Marshall Adidas, right? Sister, just normal looking college aged kind of girl, nothing too flashy. And then the last brother that was wearing the Nikes, he looked like he was like into streetwear. He was jacked. And again, they're Indian.
Hype beast.
Yeah, hype beast dude. He looked like he takes shirtless pictures on Instagram. And so when I asked which, it was unanimous. The other two just pointed towards
Hype beast
kid. And so then I was like, okay, I'm going to rip on this guy a little bit because then these two will laugh. Because obviously the IT guy and wholesome sister here want him taken down a peg.
Yeah.
So let me take him down a peg. I take him down a peg, and not like I destroyed him, but I take something off, and then I got to bring him back in because I don't want him mad the whole time too. So I want to make your siblings laugh, make fun of you real quick, and then gonna yank you back in. And that's when I was like, just got hyped about, and it wasn't necessarily like gave him a compliment. I just got hyped about the fact that the Mavericks signed Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, which that also could have blown up in my face. He could have not been a Mavericks fan. He could have not even know who Kyrie was. He's like, I just bought these shoes because my trainer told me. So comedy gods helped me out on that one. But and I have a proclivity to do that. Sometimes I get a little frustrated on there, and because my name on Instagram is the Mad Zack, I am an ass. Like I'm an asshole sometimes, and there's times I'll attack the audience. I don't I get a little upset.
If you do it in a playful way, I think it works really well. To like the point, you said sometimes you throw, we got new people with siblings in here, and if it's just crickets, just, okay, you're all fucking only children, really? A lot of kids of divorce, what's going on?
Yeah, there was 1 week at Comedy Arena where it was a lot of that, and I can't, was it you or somebody? I came off stage, someone was like,
okay?
They're like, no, attack the audience. Was that a part of it? And I was like, no, fuck those people. Like, but it was a lot of that. I was like, I was asking questions, and people are just like, nothing. And I was like, anyone here parents? And they're like, just crickets. And I'm like, yeah, none of you should reproduce. No one in this room should reproduce. Fuck all of you. I get too mad and I turn it into
a little hostile.
Yeah, I get a little hostile. So, and that's the thing you see throughout this clip is sometimes my ADD comes out even in my comedy, where I got to be like, stick to the bit, dude. Stick to the bit.
Return to true north.
Yeah.
She topped anything that your siblings could have ever done. My sister was suspected of being an ISIS recruiter on national television. True story, Google it, Utah teacher ISIS. My sister pops right up.
I love that.
So
remove that stutter, and that's a tight little front load of information with a funny little pop at the end there.
So that I got that because getting into the performance of it. Drew Nickens, another comic here in Dallas, love you, Drew. He really, really shined a light on the fact of that this is a performance, and his whole thing is a performance, and the way he captivates people with his performance, it's there. Because with Drew, his speech isn't, he's not reading Audible books to people anytime soon, right? Like when he's on stage, not all of his jokes are very clear, right? He has a brain injury,
but
right?
He's using the whole stage. He's using the mic stand. He's getting very animated with his hands.
Exactly, and so sometimes, but that's how he speaks, right? So sometimes his words, and I'm not speaking for you, but that's how I see it, and I've had a discussion with him about it, is like that another level of speech, because Drew could never be a guy who sits on a stool
and just fucking cracks one-liners.
No, and that's not who he is. So I was like, I want to take an element of that. So what I did in my house is I have a light stand that I went and taped a microphone. I have a microphone, clip. I Gorilla taped it to the top of it, got an aux cord, put the whole thing up in my room. I went and I literally bought off Facebook Marketplace a broken microphone just to have as a prop.
Oh, and just get that practice and that repetition.
Get that practice. And so, and having a mirror. So I went and bought a mirror.
Mirror's huge.
A mirror.
Yeah. That
sits right in front of the door. And that's the only way that I came up with I've always had like this part. Utah teacher ISIS. Like I've done that a lot. That's a good physical bit of mine. I do that in the Roku one. I've done that in the Bud Light one. But
you son of a bitch.
yeah, but
Roku. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Bud Light pussy flavored beer.
I'm looking for that tell now in every joke you tell. That's fun.
But like comes right up only happened because of Mirror, Mike
Working through it.
Mike Cord.
Putting the work in.
Yeah, no, and you were the one who first gave me that advice, was in the front of the mirror too. Because I didn't do it with the mirror. I was like, what the fuck is this doing for me? Like, I didn't it was weird. And I went and grabbed my daughter's mirror out of her room. She's like, what's that for? And I was like, my future. And I just went and I took it, and she's asked for it back a couple times. I'm like, nah.
This was $12 at Claire's. You're fine.
You're fine. And so I'm actually getting to a point where, so in my house, I have one of my rooms that's built out to podcast. It's my office and podcast studio. But there's a nice little section of it where I'm thinking about building like just a little small platform to stand up on, get some really bright lights, and just mount them right up there, kind of like how like Noah had them all in his club, had them like really janky, but they're right there, and it worked. And Noah did an amazing job in Sharks Comedy Club simulating a real club. No, I'm not trying to be
Sharks
mean.
Comedy, rest in peace.
Yeah,
it will be back.
But he did a really good job simulating that. And so I was like, I'm actually thinking about doing that in my own
emulating.
house. Yeah,
it's probably a better word.
I thought of it as like training, like, get up there, dude. Here's the lights. And then, you know what I mean? He's like, no, I imagined Noah being like the guy in Dodgeball, like training comics at the club.
Duck, dip, dive,
and he's just like, all right. He's like, just throws heckles at people. And he's like, what are you going to get? Are you going to get through it, bitch? You got to get through it. You're fat. Oh, fuck. See? And he like throws a water bottle. I just see him like training comics that way there.
I like that.
But no, that it's totally enhanced the bit, and it only happened because of that. And then I get used to it. I get used to it so much. Cord, everything. It fucked me up one week. The last time I was at Plano House Comedy, and they switched it back, but they had a wireless mic for a week.
Oh, so you couldn't.
Dude, it looked so gay. I was like this with two hands on the mic, because what does my other hand do? I do this. This is my security blanket. This is Blanky. This is my childhood pig. This is what I do everything with. Yeah. So when it was taken away, I looked like I was guzzling a cock. I was just...
Ricky Bobby, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Dude, I was like, it was... And then I started ripping into the fact that Plano's so rich that they have to have a wireless mic.
That's where the mad Zack came out.
Yeah, I was fucking pissed. I was like, "What? Who the fuck do you guys think you are?" And it did not go well. It didn't. The bit did not go.
Let's go ahead and take another look at this here. Come on.
Do you also believe the Earth is flat or no? That boy can ball, can't he though? He can ball. We got him. We got him, dude. He signed in. We'll maybe make playoffs this year. But I have a sister who's like that. My sister, she topped anything that your siblings could have ever done. My sister was suspected of being an ISIS recruiter on national television. True story, Google it. Utah teacher ISIS. My sister pops right up.
I like that start. My sister topped anything any else could have ever done. She was suspected. National television. Yeah, man. Remove that stutter. That's a primo intro.
Okay? She was teaching a class that was taught by many people before on propaganda. Like teaching kids, like, hey, this is how propaganda can get you. Back in 2015, you know, during ISIS's like real golden years, right? Those people still call it the classics for the four of them that's alive. And they're like some...
So the reason why I because I did the same fucking thing again.
You threw a little riff in there?
Yeah, so the golden years written, the four of them that are still alive, that part, fucking riff, and it threw me off again. It threw me off again because, again, it's supposed to go gold, you know, 2015, the real golden years of ISIS.
And then right into, you guys remember their recruiting tactics, don't you?
Yeah.
I would agree, probably trim that tag. Because the golden years into talking about their recruiting clubs just makes more sense.
That's when you heard the That's where I ummed.
That's why we're working through it.
They're supposed to like make up stuff like furries who pee standing up, or like cheerleaders without dads, right? Like just some fake idea or some club. Guys who play Call of Duty totally straight. You know what I mean? Like, And they're supposed to like make up stuff like furries who pee standing up. They can get you. Back in 2015, propaganda. Like teaching kids like, hey, this is how propaganda can get you. Back in 2015, during ISIS's like real golden years, right? Those people still call it the classics for the four of them that's alive. And they're supposed to like make up stuff like furries who pee standing up, or like cheerleaders without dads, right? Like just some fake idea or some club. Guys who play Call of Duty totally straight. You know what I mean? Like
Sorry, I'm just being like hyper analytical here.
2015, during ISIS's like real golden years, right? Those people still call it the classics for the four of them that's alive. And they're supposed to like make up stuff like furries who pee standing up, or like cheerleaders without dads, right? Like just some fake idea or some club. Guys who play Call of Duty totally straight. You know what I mean? Like they.
I would maybe revisit this section because
You
I
could
think you could get more pops on those first two.
Yeah, and that's the thing. All those premises are interchangeable. I can interchange them with anything, right?
What I think is kind of throwing me off there, and it took me a second, really until the third one, is, he's talking about the propaganda ISIS put out at that time.
Yeah.
Like somewhere it got a little unclear.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So maybe like, 2015, the real golden years of ISIS. You remember some of those forums and things they used to put out? Just like a little thing like that, and then get into the...
Yeah, and then also explaining a little bit better, too, of like what those clubs were. So I guess back in... You guys remember the 2015, the real golden years of ISIS? They were recruiting kids all over the internet. They were recruiting kids on Twitter and everywhere. And so these kids were supposed to go make their own organization that would recruit people. Not necessarily like, see, that's where I fucked up again, but not necessarily like their own organization. These organizations could have been named anything. They could have anything from their imagination. It could have been bop, bop, bop. So, yeah, structuring that part. Because you could tell what I'm doing. I'm rushing to get to that part.
To the heavy hitter.
Yeah, I'm rushing to get to the cheerleaders without dads, this, that. Fun note, the original joke where Call of Duty used to be, the first time I did this joke, it was in front of Anthony, and it was supposed to be a direct dig on Halo. And it used to be Halo, which...
I mean, Halo kind of ran itself into the ground, man. Call of Duty's the better known brand in 2023.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Yeah. No, so it's easier, but...
Halo would have fucking smacked in 2010.
But those are interchangeable. I do like the furries who pee standing up. I think that's funny, but I think there's other two, like there's heavier hitters that I can put in there. Very similar to what we were talking about with the impressions. I need to have two that are stable and one that I think I can interchange out to be more topical.
To keep it more fun for you, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how you said golden years. You remember they were recruiting kids on the internet. That just makes it a little bit more clear. Like these dumbass names are supposed to be recruitment forums.
Yeah.
Or recruitment boards.
Really emphasize the word straight in all caps. So
You already know.
A mom freaks out. She walks in. The kids didn't listen. The kids wrote stuff on posters like ISIS is lit AF. Or like, join ISIS, we have candy. Like they didn't hear the lesson. They just went home and wrote ISIS shit. So
I love what you're doing with your hands there. Like you're really drilling that in. I love that. That's good.
on local news, the national news. We're getting death threats. My sister's career's ruined. I got questioned at work. My dad was on an extended leave of absence. We're in a hotel room. I look around at all five of us sitting in the room, and I go, what are we going to do about this? And my parents were like, just give it 72 hours. It's not a big deal. My sister got away with being a suspected ISIS recruiter. Do you get that? My parents said, give it time.
I love that. Maybe let it hang a little bit longer, honestly. See if anyone figures it out before you, like, double punch down. Like, guys, she was accused of being an ISIS, and my parents were fine with that.
Yeah, that's where the insecurity comes out. because
Yeah.
that's the end of the joke.
You gotta
And you're
trust
like-
it a little bit.
Yeah, that's where the insecurity comes out, and that's where the mad part of me comes out, because I'm like, why the fuck are you not laughing? Do you understand what the fuck I am saying right now? Like,
If you let it hang for a second, one person's gonna make the connection and lose it.
Yeah.
And that's where he gets it. She was accused.
yeah, that's a good
And they
note.
said, give it time. Are you fucking kidding me? And then I was gonna say, if you're looking for another tag there,
No, and bookending. Yeah, like I said, anything to kind of wrap this up, because it's kind of an anticlimactic ending. That's how it ended. It literally just went away.
I'm not super committed to the shit on the floor. Like, I think that's funny.
Nor am I. I'm not committed to that.
I think one thing I really love about this story is your emotion in telling it. Like, seeing you get worked up about, are you guys kidding me? Like, that's really fun. So maybe throw in something like, you guys still talk about when I did XYZ in first grade.
That's where my mind was going too.
Yeah.
Like, I did this and this happened, and you guys, like, I was grounded for months.
You still call me the fucking jelly bean bandit.
Yeah.
Like something super silly and absurd.
Yes. Okay. Yep. That's where I got to sit down and write that out.
Yeah.
But no, that's it. It's because I'm mad about it because of this, some other thing. You know what I mean? It's actually not even related to this.
It's a complete turn. Like, that's why
Yeah.
you're so mad. Like,
Yeah.
I put shit in Dad's shoes one time in first grade, and y'all still call me Mr. Poopy Shoes. I don't know. Something dumb like that, though.
One thing that did happen, real life, I'll tell you a couple instances.
There
and
we
see
go.
if we can write on it.
Work with the truth here.
So my dad had built. My dad sold his company. We went from poor to above average wealthy pretty fast.
Okay.
And he built a movie room, like a legit movie room back in the days when, before huge big screen TVs with the
Projector. Everything. Yeah.
projector, everything. We built, it was stadium seats. It was the whole thing. And back then it wasn't like sound bars. No sound bars existed. So it was the wired
All
studio
around the room.
and you had the big AV unit that everything ran through, right?
Yeah.
So I was accused of losing the remote to it, and it was missing until we moved out of the house. When my parents moved out of the house 12 years later, we found it in the couch, like in this nook of the couch. I looked for it for years.
Yep.
But I didn't lose it. And my dad, every single time we sat down and watched TVs and movies, he was just like, would have been nice to have a fucking remote. And I'm just like, what? Dad, I didn't lose it. Whatever. You didn't fucking like. It was this ongoing thing, even to a point when we're at my house and I'm married and everything. A decade later, I'm like, hey, here, turn this on. He's like, oh, you have a remote? Oh, looks like you're learning pretty well.
That's so fucking funny.
Like, he gave me shit for so many years for losing this fucking remote that I didn't fucking lose. Like, I don't know. He just decided just to blame me.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I got accused of a lot.
Tell me more about your childhood.
Yeah, no, but like shit like that. So that's what I have to think of. I don't know if the remote thing's there, but
I was just thinking.
but
I like really funny.
But I like the idea of I always get called this. So I do like that.
Yeah.
That story doesn't fit that, but I can figure that out. And I don't want to manufacture it too much.
I really like the remote story because that could be a fucking 30 to 60 second bit. If you trim it up, simplify it, just say the remote. Don't go into like the AV specifications. Most people don't know tech. And then you're like, all right, that's enough talking shit about my dad. I'll talk shit about my sister. And then go into the whole bit there and then finish it back with, are you kidding me? Just wait for it to go away. You're still giving me shit about that remote.
Yeah.
Like, that could work. Yeah, man, sit down and play with that. I think kind of making you the butt of the joke is how you should finish that.
Yeah.
Or
I could
you getting emotional at it.
I could steal something from my wife. She, how two-car garages have the beam in the middle? My wife, she drove as a teenager, drove through the beam.
Oh, nice.
And they called her like Smasher, Wrecking Crew, like all this other shit for so many years. But like I want to figure out something like that.
Yeah.
Like you said, jelly bean, poopy shoes. I think of that. I think that's where that needs.
Silly.
I think that's where it needs to go.
Go ahead and wrap this up. Yeah.
It will go away. They didn't even question her at all. I was like, what about all the mats in the back of her room? She goes,
They didn't even question her. I'm still being accused of,
I think this joke, this is from the first time I told you about the joke and we riffed on it.
Oh, yeah.
I think so, because, the idea of napping mats or prayer mats.
those are nap
Why do they
mats.
all
And I
face
go,
Mecca?
I don't think so. I'm not sure they are. Not questioned at all.
But yeah, the other idea I had when I was doing this was to basically, obviously, like, there was no shred of truth that she could have been an ISIS recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, after Easter egg credit scene, like, maybe she was. And that's what the Matt joke was.
Yeah.
Is like, maybe she actually was.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm going to the other direction that we talked about, I think is way better.
You prefer that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Also, too,
it makes it more a you joke.
Yeah.
I really like that factor a lot.
Also, my sister hasn't heard me tell this or has seen, and knowing her, she might be like, that was really funny. And then if I add that tagline of possibly incriminating her, she's gonna be like, shut the fuck up.
Hey,
like, why'd you fucking do that?
What did you see?
Yeah, like she might actually get mad. So if I make it about me, then she won't, because I have to post this eventually, but this is one joke because I don't mind posting clips. I don't mind posting my jokes. A lot of comics get weird about it. They're like, I don't want my bits on the internet. So then
No one's stealing your shit. No one's watching your shit. No offense.
Yeah.
Even
Also,
if 20,000 people watch it, that's 20,000 of 7 billion on the planet.
also, if you're a shithead and like, well, not shithead, but like, if you're at the level that we're at of trying to, really be consistently booked,
Mm-hmm.
You have to sell fucking tickets, dude.
Yeah.
You have to. What are people going to get when they show up?
Yeah.
And you can't. You
got to post links to the flyers. You got to post little promo clips. I really liked that last promo clip you threw
thank
up.
you.
Not to shit on people. I see a lot of people just throw up a flyer. You actually threw up a couple of your jokes with the text overlay, like promoting the show, where you can get tickets, what time it's going to be. Just that little extra effort. I feel like 5 or 6 people see that and be like, this looks fun. I want to go to this,
And the sad thing about that, because the next show is at the Plano House Comedy, so I wanted to make the clip at the Plano House of Comedy, right? So I could have done, I've had better crowd reactions, better crowd work at other clubs, but I just wanted that thinking of it, right? Oh, he's like Plano House of Comedy, this is where it's happening. And the issue is that actually that set, I didn't do very well. I didn't get some of the pops that I wanted. So, I thought I'd jump in the editing bay and just get pop, and just do a quick amalgamation and move on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what do I want to sell people on if they come to my show? So I start with my opener, the first little bit, quick, straight guy, lesbian haircut, kick into the Barbie song a little bit, and then I show this crowd work and that's what I'm trying to tell people on, like, hey, I'm not up here just to, like, because what does Matt Rife?
I'm not up here telling jokes at you.
Yeah.
I'm performing for you.
I wanted to sell people on the experience, so you don't even have the full context of, and you don't need to post the full context. It does not need to be a minute-long clip.
It just needs to look interesting.
Interesting enough where people are like, that experience I want to have. That looks like a fun experience. I will go spend my time and money to go do that.
Yeah.
And it's the first show that I've had. Because I have tons of friends, and I'm sure this happens to you when you tell people that you're a comic. They're like, oh, where can I come see you? And you're like, well, I am an open micer, so but and then finally you get a show, and it's like, hey, motherfuckers, remember all those people that asked me, where can I see you? This is where, and this is the experience and everything that you can have. And if they don't show up, then fuck them. Like, don't ever ask me again of like, where can I come see you? It's like, this is it. And that's, and I feel like a lot of comics don't do enough to promote their shows. And they're like, I got booked. Why would I have to promote it? The clubs are going to promote it. No, dude.
No, they're not.
No, the clubs are running a business.
Yeah.
And they, depending on who you are, they'll promote, but they want people going to the bigger shows. And that's fine. That's good for them. If they booked, like Plano House of Comedy booked Andrew Dice Clay, and they were running Facebook ads. It's one of the only ones I've seen them run Facebook ads for. And of course you do. It's Andrew Dice Clay. You're not running ads for Triple Tuesdays. Why would you?
What's in the bowl, bitch? Yeah.
That's us as comics. And with the way editing software is, download CapCut on your phone.
Dude, Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram's editing is fucking pretty decent with the trim, splice, music, caption overlay. Like, it gets the job done.
You're not big enough until you're on your third Netflix special. You are not bigger. You're not bigger than promoting your own shit.
Even then, I think you still got to sell yourself. Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking, I don't know who I was talking to, but like career comedy, maybe 30% of it is being funny.
Yeah, no.
There's a lot more shit that goes into it.
No.
But shit, that word vomit. Shit, man. That being said, you got anything else for this clip?
Nope, I'm good. I'm good. I feel narcissistic of, let's just keep talking about this.
This, I like it. I like it a lot. This is definitely one to work into the tight 10. But let's fucking watch a pro do some work now. How about that?
Yeah.
So here we've got Mr. Shane Gillis.
And this was Jeremiah Watkins' show, Stand Up on the Spot. So people throw out premises and then they talk about them and do stand up on the spot.
Okay.
But I could tell, though, the way that he spits this out, this has already been in his head.
Mm-hmm.
This has already been in his head. Much like earlier when we recorded this the first time, you asked me when I was doing the crowd work on the ISIS clip, like how much of that was on the spot and how much of that was like already in my brain but kind of backlog.
Mm-hmm.
It was all on the spot, obviously, except for like the jokes about Kyrie. That's obviously just back there because that is just back there, right?
That's funny shit you say to your friends.
Yeah, that's just, people know that. It's like, you know, Donald Trump and grabbing stuff. It's Joe Biden. It's, you know, it's
sniffing things.
Yeah, you always have that back there. It's Taylor Swift and breakups. It's easily accessible things, but this one you could tell, I actually could tell that I think this is a bit he was actually working on. So when someone said something and did the stand up on the spot, he was able to recall it. But yeah, that's good.
To Catch a Predator, you know what's fucked up? I used to kind of cheer a little for the Predators. And I'll tell you why, I didn't want them to get laid.
I mean, if it's a football game, they are the away team.
They're going into hostile territory. But they also, like, that show, if you watch that show, it's not, look, I think pedophiles are bad. Let me lead with that.
He's running for office next year, by the way. Let me just say,
I'm going to go ahead and
pedophiles
say
are bad.
this, but if you watch that show again now, they're just trapping, like, very, like, mentally handicapped guys and Indians. That's all they're getting. They're getting me and Akash. Every day, me and Akash show up. And that's all they got. They tricked them. And then the Indian, the best are like dudes directly from India, where they were just like, they're like, sit down. Do you know this girl's 15? And they're like, yes. You understand you're going to do. It's like, why? Why am I in trouble? This is going to be the best day.
Holy shit.
That's their culture, and I respect other cultures.
The fact that you have the knowledge of other people's culture is actually very culturally sensitive, Shane.
Thank you.
Yeah. All the Indians up front are like, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's very fun.
So because right now we're jumping off with a racy subject, right? To Catch a Predator, one of the most that's one of those shows that just shows the filth of the earth, right?
Take a seat.
Yeah.
Take a seat right here.
Which, by the way, now, so he's doing the show again.
Oh, yeah?
On the YouTube channel, True Blue. And it's funny, now when he walks in the room and he goes, hey, take a seat. Before, people didn't know who he was. They're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But now people know who he is, and they're like, I know you. I've seen the clips. And it's like, wait, why'd you watch the clips? Like, they were taking notes to figure out how not to get trapped. Like, you guys failed the test. They're always like, Chris Hansen? Like, they know who he is now.
But you've seen the clips. That chat room didn't look similar at all.
Yeah, it's funny. Because they're all sitting there like, shit, we're had. And I'm like, yeah. But he's starting off on like a very racy subject, which can shut off an audience fast. So love the idea of like, I'm going to make you laugh at something that you feel like you shouldn't laugh about.
Well, I was going to say, it's definitely a dicey subject, but he does something that I think Louis does very well. And who else has really fucked up humor? Like Stavros.
Catch a predator. You know what's fucked up? I used to kind of cheer a little for the Predators. And I'll tell you why. I didn't want them to get laid.
I mean, if it's a football game, they are the away team.
They're going into hostile territory. But they also, like, that show, if you watch that show, it's not, look, I think pedophiles are bad.
So, like, the first little punch there, he prefaces it, you know what's fucked up? Like, I'm going to say something weird, so expect that. Says it, and then he tries to keep continuing with the bit, but then he takes a break and is just like, guys,
Let me lead with that.
just to be clear, like, pedophiles are bad, I'm joking, but I'm going to continue saying fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's a nice way to dance around, like, hey, this is fucked up. We're going to get through it. You know, like, this isn't what I believe.
He's done. So he did. It's not released yet. I think it'll be on his next special. So when I saw him at the Majestic, he did something very similar with the guys from the terrorist group who 9/11. Who are they again? Taliban. Why did I blank on that? Sorry, I just had ISIS on the brain so much. The Taliban.
Don't forget the OGs.
Yeah, he's like, hey, remember right after 9/11, they sent over that clip of like the guys training on the monkey bars, the Taliban like, on the monkey bars, and he's like, I found that way more relatable. And then he does the same thing where he goes and defends why the Taliban was so much more relatable than
the Navy SEALs.
The U.S. Army. Yeah, the Navy SEALs.
Like, those guys are fucking swimming in underwater, breaking necks. I can do the monkey bars.
And it was even funnier because very early in the set, he's like, I found out my ex-girlfriend used to date a Navy SEAL. And they're kind of pussies if you think about it. And this was his like joke way later in the set where he calls back to it. And yeah, that's what he ends with. He's just like, the Navy SEALs aren't relatable to me at all. They're just going to Black Hawk and they're like, mow down a village, like, clear, and they leave. That's not relatable. It's so more relatable. He goes, dude, when they got shot with like rockets, they're like in flip flops, they're drunk,
freaking
it's
out.
Like, whoa. He's like, that's how I would react. And so but that one's not online. I have it recorded because I record some of the shows I go to because I love for me. I don't release them. I'm never do that to a comic, but I like to re-listen to them myself. But I wanted to bring that, but didn't have it. But this was the next best example of that. So he says, he leads with, let me preference, no good. And then he goes into self-deprecating.
He's running for office next year, by the way. Let me just say,
I'm going to
pedophiles
say
are bad.
this, but if you watch that show again now, they're just trapping, like, very, like, mentally handicapped guys and Indians. That's all they're getting. They're getting me and Akash.
That's funny because it's fucked up and kind of true.
I wonder if the Indian part was because Akash was on the show with him, so it's multiple comics, and then obviously there was a huge group of Indians
in the front.
I wonder if how much of that was
just added in there because of Akash in the crowd.
Yeah.
Because as he says it, I'm like, oh, for sure every episode I can think of, the guys looked a little off.
Yeah.
But I'm not remembering a lot of Indians specifically, but I'll take his word for it because I trust the first part of that statement.
And you know, but self-deprecating, I think, is those jokes always work the best.
Oh yeah.
And so this is when the audience starts to get on his side because he basically just called himself mentally handicapped.
Every day, me and Akash show up, and that's all they got. They tricked him.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect because, like you said, it's a fucked up subject, but he's the butt of the joke now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Indian, the best are like dudes directly from India, where they were just like, they're like, sit down. Do you know this girl's 15? And they're like, yes. And they're like, you understand you're going to do? It's like, why? Why am I in trouble? This is going to be the best day. Because that's their culture, and I respect other cultures.
The fact that you have the knowledge of other people's culture is actually very culturally sensitive, Shane.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So then he puts a spotlight on the fact of, actually, do you guys know this is actually widely accepted in most? You know what I mean? Like that's.
I almost don't love the explanation of the joke there, because like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I live in Texas and like work with.
Which explanation?
It's their culture, and I respect that. Like, I feel like enough people should get it. Like, oh yeah, they do marry younger over there, or they have arranged marriages in some parts of India still. You know what I mean? But that's trusting the audience to fill in the punch for you.
Yeah.
Like, to get why. Do you understand she's 15? Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, also too, I think, but also at the same time, I think obviously this isn't a rehearsed bit.
Yeah.
It's on the spot, but I think I still say leave it in there. I still say it because you have to remember he's up in New York, and there's a lot of people that could accuse him of like, oh, he just said all Indians do this.
Oh, yeah.
Are you just saying all Indians do this by him saying it's their culture? And he could have actually built that in earlier into the joke or said it, but some form of explanation, I think, or point out needs to happen with the culture, because then it's Shane accusing of guys that are coming to America and Indians are rapist. He's like, no, like that's what they do. It's not like what they do, but it's their culture.
Yeah, it's a safer way to, one, not let the audience fill in with the funny, and two, not let the audience fill in with like, wait, what the fuck did he just say? Like something bad, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and watch this one more time.
Predator. You know what's fucked up? I used to kind of cheer a little for the Predators. And I'll tell you why. I didn't want them to get laid.
I mean, if it's a football game, they are the away team.
They're going into hostile territory. But they also, like, that show, if you watch that show, it's not, look, I think pedophiles are bad. Let me lead with that.
He's running for office next year, by the way. Let me just say,
I'm gonna go ahead and
pedophiles
say
are bad.
this, but if you watch that show again now, they're just trapping, like, very, like, mentally handicapped guys and Indians. That's all they're getting. They're getting me and Akash. Every day, me and Akash show up. And that's all they got. They tricked them. And then the Indian, the best are like dudes directly from India, where they were just like, they're like, sit down. Do you know this girl's 15? They're like, yes. And they're like, you understand you're going to do? It's like, why am I in trouble? This is going to be the best day. Because that's their culture, and I respect other cultures.
I mean, I'm sure it's not entirely planned out, but just his expression with his hands and his shoulders as he tells the bit, or as he works through it, is incredible.
Because the first half of it is, I cheer for them because I don't want them to get laid. That doesn't make sense to me.
And I'll tell you why. I didn't want them to get laid.
I mean, if it's a football game, they are the
He's cheering for him not to get laid. Like, he's not cheering for him for a fucked up reason.
Got it.
Look, I think pedophiles are bad. Let me lead with that.
He's running for office next year, by the way.
I like them matching the cadence as he says it.
But if you watch that show again now, they're just trapping like very like mentally handicapped guys and Indians. That's all they're getting. They're getting me and Akash. Every day, me and Akash show up. And that's all they got. They tricked them. And then the Indian, the best are like dudes directly from India, where they were just like, they're like, sit down. Do you know this girl's 15? They're like, yes. And they're like, you understand you're going to do this? Why am I in trouble?
The impersonation. Again, impersonation.
It's good. Quick.
Voice. Yeah,
tight.
voice.
Another thing I love too about Shane Gillis is he looks like he's having fun up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
He feels like it's a bar conversation. Like
Yeah.
he pulls it off very well.
Like, that show, if you watch that show, it's not, look. Let me lead with that.
He's running for office next year, by the way. Let me just say,
I'm gonna go ahead and
pedophiles
say
are bad.
this, but if you watch that show again now, they're just trapping like very like mentally handicapped guys and Indians. That's all they're getting. They're getting Josh. Every day.
I love the use of eye contact sparingly too. He's just kind of like working his thought out. That's all they're getting. Working his thought out.
But he's also allowing for laughs too.
Yeah.
He's allowing for laughs. Because just like you said, you could get insecure and you keep talking faster and you double over.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could just wait because someone might put something together in their own head. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, man, I like this one. I really like what you said. kind of taking a thing, a celebrity that people feel so strongly about, or a show, and just going against the grain, trying to be funny from the other side of it.
Yeah. Like in Honey Boo Boo, was Mama June actually the hero in that? You know what I mean? Or like, is Reverse Munchausen...
They have money and look great now.
Yeah, is Reverse Munchausen's bad, or is it just caring enough? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like that's the fun part of it.
Oh, well, shit, man. That, I know you got to get going here soon.
Yeah.
Anything else about this one you got?
No, I think, but that's a fun exercise. So if you guys made it through this far in the video, like, leave with the challenge of, hey, go find something controversial, something not controversial, but find something that is inherently bad and write a joke defending it. And, you know,
or even like just take something you really like and be the opposing side of it.
Yeah, devil's advocate of the jokes.
Exactly.
It's the best way to put it.
Yeah. But shit, man. Takeaways today for me: bring back the impressions, work on them, actually like get a good impression, and turns. Be more playful with the turns. Don't just do impression.
Yeah.
Something different, something out of left field, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you thinking?
Another angle you could take it to is you could do impressions of more normalized things, meaning like, this is my impression of a guy from Texas trying to go to California.
More like abstracted things.
Yeah.
Not specific to a person, but specific to a situation.
Yeah. Or this is the impression of my dad when he was trying to eat soup. Or my impression of Kyrie Irving when he finds out the Earth's round, right? Like, it also could be situational at the same time too. So there's a lot of things you could really, really play with that, like almost characters.
Yeah.
Characters within the bit. But my takeaways would definitely be my own ADD during the sets, right? Like, not throwing myself off, sticking to the bit, sticking to that.
For paid events, if someone's paying money to be there, give them the best product you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
shows, try new tags, throw shit in there if you think of it on the spot. Not shows, like open mics. That's the place to do it, right?
Yeah. But at the same time too, I'm trying to, like, a goal of mine is cutting out ums. Cutting out ums is a big thing, and so, but that's a result of the ums is me doing that. So
kind of going off script a little bit.
Yeah. That's what I should do.
So something there, you know, like, don't feel like you can never go off script. If you still do, just try to catch yourself doing it and go into the next thing you're going to say. Just remove that and it's fine.
Well, that, and I think planning for it too.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a 5-minute set, tell 3 minutes worth of jokes. And then if you don't have anything to riff off of or like, if I riff, then the doesn't come because I don't feel like a need to rush back into the material.
Yeah.
I planned for 3 minutes. I have 5. I don't say like, I'm not sitting there like, all right, where did I leave off? If I know I gave myself time, I riff, and I can sit there just quietly for a second
and just play with the pausing, letting shit hang a little bit.
Yeah,
I like that.
And then the other one, the ending we talked about. The ending, I really liked what we were able to kind of put together mentally there, of like,
play with the spin on you a little bit.
Yeah, taking it back and be like, you guys called me boner, you know, for for the past 20 years, and I did one thing.
72 hours?
Yeah.
Really?
Or what it is, it's something. So back to the remote thing, it's something that I was accused of and suspected of as well.
And they didn't drop it for 10 years.
Yeah, still don't drop it.
Yeah.
But she does this, and they're like,
that's fine.
It's fine. It's whatever.
Well, shit. On that note, you got any shows coming up? Anything you want to plug up? Social media?
Yeah. You guys can find me at the Mad Zack. That's THAA, which
I'll throw it on the screen
E was taken. Well, I have to point it out because people are like THE, and I'm like, well, I'm dyslexic, but E was taken.
Like, point it out on the screen. Like do this.
Yeah. THAZAK.
All right, I'm gonna put some magic editing on that.
Yeah. And then I am competing in the Funniest Comic in Dallas competition
Oh, that's like next week, right?
Yeah, next week.
Is that going to be recurring?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I know
This probably
big,
won't be posted for like a month.
but it's a bigger show. It's fine, but it's a bigger show. They do them in each city.
Oh, yeah.
So the guy who runs the show, Sean, he posts like I see other posts from other cities. So he's like, this guy just won Funniest Comic in San Antonio and stuff like that. So
Fuck yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be recurring. Not like what they did before, where they did the funniest person with a day job. I don't think it's a thing like that.
There's like no eliminations and shit like that.
Also, I do wonder. I need to ask the producers, like, how do you guys get to have a show called that? You know what I mean? Like the funny. That seems very presumptuous.
Like you can just say that.
You could just do a show that says that.
It's like the fucking spaghetti sauce being called Prego.
Yeah, like because now that comic can go around, and whoever does win that, they win $500. But the way better option is you could say they won the competition of funniest comic in Dallas, but it's like
it's like getting a certification or a credit, right?
Yeah, like who's accrediting it? Like, did everyone
Sean.
sign off on this? Yeah, but no, so super excited for that. Other than that, just running mics. Everyone's like, where can I see you? And it's like, if you see a sign that there's an open mic at this coffee shop, I'm probably
50-50 on there.
Yeah, 50-50 shot, I'm there.
Well, shit, that being said, film is no longer in session. I gotta figure out an ending. I'll add some music. I don't know.